So with Aaron Rodgers getting attacked more in 48 hours than Joe Biden's been attacked in 48 years by the news media, I want to share with you what Aaron Rodgers said in response to these reports that he is a Sandy Hook truther. Reports that he suggested that Sandy Hook was an inside job, which is what CNN reported the day after it was put out there that RFK Jr. is interested in Aaron Rodgers for his VP slot. Listen to Jake Tapper, and then we're going to get to your calls on who you'd want to see run for office. And this could go in a lot of different directions. But Jake Tapper yesterday on CNN sharing Aaron Rodgers' response, and listen to how he spins this on the back end.
We reported that Aaron Rodgers had shared these frankly disturbing views about the Sandy Hook shooting not being real. He shared them 11 years ago with CNN's Pamela Brown. She was covering the Kentucky Derby for CNN in 2013 and met him there. CNN, I have also spoken to another person, one who would like to remain anonymous in order to avoid harassment, who also had a similar encounter with Aaron Rodgers, saying that Rodgers claimed that, quote, Sandy Hook never happened. All those children never existed. They're all actors, unquote. When asked about the grieving parents, whom I met, and their grief is real, the source says that Rodgers said, quote, they're all making it up. They're all actors, unquote. Now, today, Aaron Rodgers is responding to our story, kind of. He does not deny saying what we reported he said, but he, or a representative for him, tweeted the following statement, quote.
By the way, before we get any further, listening to 50 seconds of Jake Tapper makes me want to blow my brains out.
Or someone that says they're Jake Tapper.
Yeah, how do we even know you're Jake Tapper?
Right.
Let me see under that mask.
Goofy stuff.
Gosh, I mean, how does Jake Tapper get to where he is? Guy's a major anchor on cable news, and he sounds like his stones haven't dropped yet. I mean, could his voice... Can you use your diaphragm, Jake? Holy cow. I mean, stop speaking out of your nose. Speak out of your diaphragm, for crying out loud. I know you don't have much of a voice to begin with, but don't make it worse than it is. Gosh.
As I'm on the record saying in the past, what happened in Sandy Hook was an absolute tragedy. I am not and have never been of the opinion that the events did not take place. Again, I hope that we learn from this and other tragedies to identify the signs that would allow us to prevent unnecessary loss of life. My thoughts and prayers continue to remain with the families affected, along with the entire Sandy Hook community, unquote. Again, if you read that statement, Rodgers does not deny those comments that he made to Pamela Brown and to the other source.
He literally denied it. That is as disingenuous and as big of a bunch of BS as CNN has spewed. And that's saying something, by the way. I mean, you get no shortage of it there. Aaron Rodgers says in that tweet that was put out yesterday, I am not and have never been of the opinion that the events did not take place, referring to Sandy Hook. And Jake Tapper says on the back end, see, he didn't deny it. He didn't deny what Pamela Brown said. No, he didn't give you the time of day. He didn't directly respond to the CNN reports are false. Because you know what? You're not worth the time of day. He just simply said, I am not and have never been of the opinion that the events at Sandy Hook did not take place. That is a clear denial of the CNN report. He just didn't mention CNN by name. So CNN reads the tweet, which clearly denies the accusations that have been levied against Aaron Rodgers. And they read the tweet, and then they claim that he's not denying what he clearly just denied. Because he didn't mention CNN specifically. See, they wanted him to say, the report from Pamela Brown is bogus. I've never met her, something like that. They wanted something more specific geared towards them, and Aaron Rodgers didn't give it to them. So then they lie about it and claim it's not actually a denial. When it is a denial, it's just a more broad-based denial is what it is.
I'm sick of it all. I'm a denial denier. This crap started with Obama not born. Who cares if a guy thinks that?
Yeah.
The election was stolen. Who cares if somebody thinks that?
Yeah.
Now this has a more crass implications, I understand.
Yes.
But it's America.
Yep.
Who cares? Why do you have your undies in a wad over somebody denier. You're a denier. Like, that's their big brand now.
Yeah, well, it is. You're right.
They're starting back with Obama.
Yes, and they only pick deniers.
Hang on to it.
Yeah, they hang on to it, even if it's like not backed in any fact, by the way.
Absolutely.
If you had him on the record with this, fine, call him a denier, obviously, but you don't have anything like that here. You just have, someone told me from a party 10, 11 years ago that he said such and such. And that's ridiculous.
And then labeled a denier.
Yeah.
Okay, well, where's the box? Where do I check that on my form then? Okay. Right. Big deal.
Oh, gosh, it just never ends with these clowns. Now, on a lighter note, since it's Friday, with Aaron Rodgers potentially getting a VP nod from RFK, which I actually don't think is going to happen, but I think it's a funny story. And then, I don't know if you saw this week, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. He also mentioned that he could be interested in running for president one day. I mean, call me crazy, but I have no interest in that either. I was thinking about athletes last night that actually I'd want to see run for office, like that I think could actually be responsible adults. And by the way, I do think you're going to get more of this. As today's athletes become wealthier and become larger influences. Now, we've seen athletes run for office in the past, right? It's nothing necessarily new.
Mm-hmm. We have it here locally.
Yeah, but as we get to a point where I think these guys become larger than life and the top athletes become billionaires like LeBron James, the next step for them in their egos is going to be power. What do people chase? Power and money. And once you've got all the money, the next thing to get is power. And politics, unfortunately, has become a great way for people with massive egos to amass power. I could see more athletes getting into politics. I don't like it, but I could see it. So then the question becomes, who would be on that short list for you? 913-408-7957. I want to open this up to you. I've got some thoughts here of local athletes and, nationwide athletes I'd like to see get into the mix.
Okay. I'll share one whenever.
All right. Give me one.
Oh, well, I'm certainly not a Dodgers fan, but rooting for Steve Garvey in California.
Yeah.
Running against Adam Schiff.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Right?
Oh, man.
That's
is there a more punchable face in D.C. than Adam Schiff? All right, let's go to the phones, 913-408-7957. Steven is in Kansas City. What's up, Steven? Happy Friday, brother.
Hey, happy weekend, buddy.
Woo!
Mail that Super Bowl trophy to Hollywood Brown and possibly Xavier Worthy. So a few more Super Bowl trophies coming to whatever stadium we're going to be playing in. This is a no-brainer, guys. This is Kansas City. Now, you're going to have to keep them away from the inaugural parade, but I hereby submit my guy Travis Kelce for the nomination of Vice President of the United States. Listen, Rodgers, he doesn't move the needle, I don't think, on the polls. The RFK doesn't really affect anyone according to the Harris poll. But either Trump is still ahead outside of margin of error, but they're concerned about Wisconsin. This is all about messing things up in Wisconsin, and they want to keep him. I guess the domain name got registered, Kennedy Rogers and Kennedy Ventura. So I don't know. I think Jesse Ventura, if you want to go for an old athlete, I think Jesse Ventura would be fine. But I don't think the Rogers thing is serious. Other than I think they're getting scared because it may mess up the Electoral College in Wisconsin. But
all right,
but Travis
is your guy.
Travis all the way.
Travis all the way. I think Travis will make a better Secret Service agent than he would a president. I don't know. Something tells.
Come on. Who wouldn't pay to see Travis Kelce at a Easter egg roll at a state function? Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy, he's kind, he's decent, he's a good guy. He gets a little out of control when he sings "Friends in Low Places." But I would, hell, if I was RFK Jr., I might nominate him right now if he wasn't playing for the Chiefs. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Come on.
And then you get all the Swifties on board with you. There you go, Steve in Kansas City.
Beastie Boys playing as he gives the inaugural address at the very end of it.
The Beastie Boys, they might even play at the inauguration. He might break them out. 913-408-7957. All these athletes now, at least 2 in the last week. Aaron Rodgers potentially getting the nod from RFK, which we'll see how that plays out, if it does play out. And then Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors saying this week he may run for president one day. And I think we all know LeBron James has his eyes on some type of political office when all is said and done. Who are the athletes that we should actually be talking about? 913-408-7957. I've got my answers, but I want to hear yours as well. We'll get to that on the other side here on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. It's a Friday. It's been a heavy news week. Got to lighten it up how we can here on KCMO. So I'm asking you at 913-408-7957. With all this talk around Aaron Rodgers getting tapped by RFK as a potential VP pick, Steph Curry this week talking about running for president, who is the athlete that you want to see seek higher office? That's my question for you. Let's go to the phones. Victor's in Parkville. He's next up. Victor, who do you got for me?
Well, hey, good morning, Pete. I think we need Wayne Gretzky to challenge Trudeau for Prime Minister of Canada to try to turn that nation around, for crying out loud. But here in the United States, for just sheer entertainment value, Charles Barkley for anything.
I'm open to that, but Barkley's been losing his mind a little bit lately. I see these clips on him on this show he's doing on CNN, and he's lost his marbles. I used to think he had a little more common sense than what I've been seeing on social media.
Well, yeah, I know, but just that man has no filter.
Well, that is very true.
So
that is true.
Like I said, sheer entertainment value. I don't think he'd govern worth a squat, but it'd be great to see him on stage challenging some of these politicians and just calling them to the carpet for some of the bonehead moves that they make.
Well, kind of like in many ways what Trump brought to the table all those years ago.
Yeah, and he will again.
And he will again. That's right. All right, Victor, I like that one. If nothing else, but as you note, for the sheer entertainment of it all. 913-408-7957. Who do you want to see? Dan in KC North. Dan, you're next up. What's up?
Hey, I don't mind voting for anybody, any current athlete that has less of an ego but better stats than Frank White. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, man. Less of an ego and better stats than Frank White. There you Well, a lot of you are saying on the text line that Frank White has soured you on ever voting for a professional athlete again for any elected office. And, I understand that in large part. 913-408-7957 as we roll through the 7 o'clock hour on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. And make sure you've downloaded, of course, the KCMO Talk Radio app. And some of you, by the way, are throwing out a name on the text line that I find very appealing. Let's see. And that's Harrison Butker. Sign me up for that. All right, sign me up for that. I love that guy. He could run for office in this town and get 95% of the vote, by the way, which is similar to his field goal percentage. John and Shawnee, who do you got for me?
This is a wild card, but Billie Jean King beat Bobby Riggs in the 1973 Battle of the Sexes tennis match.
What? I don't know. All right. Kevin in Overland Park. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, I was going to suggest Harrison Butker because I understand he's a pretty strong conservative.
Yes, he is. That's absolutely right. And he's a pretty big pro-life guy. Don't forget that he did some of the ads for Value Them Both back in 2022 here in Kansas. So, but he doesn't shove it in your face for those that might be offended or not like his politics. He does it in his own time. He doesn't do it while he's in a jersey. He's not, promoting pro-life stuff on the field after he kicks field goals. So he knows how to balance it and how to separate it. And that's the only thing most of us have asked athletes for, Kevin. So good point.
Absolutely.
Well done, man.
That's my vote.
All right. 913-408-7957 as we roll through and approach 8 o'clock on KCMO. Let's go to Jason in Olathe. Jason, you're next up. What's happening, man?
How do you do?
I'm doing well.
Good. This is a kind of a spin from the athletes, but some VIP celebrities I would go for is Ben Shapiro, president, Pete Mundo, vice president.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Such a nice man.
That is very nice of you.
Yeah.
So Shapiro gets the presidential nod, and you're putting me in the VP slot.
Yes, sir.
I'll take it. You know, I'm now old enough to run for president, by the way, so that's a good first step, and Ben's got me by a couple of years. So that's quite a compliment.
You got my vote. Good luck out there.
Thank you very much there, Jason.
I like it because the State of the Union speech would be about 20 minutes with Ben doing it.
That's true. We'd get an hour's worth of content into a 20-minute speech.
Bam.
Yeah, and I'll be sitting there behind him being like, whoa, what did he just say? Slow it down there, buddy. Oh, that's a good one.
My pick would be somebody nominated Travis Kelce. I say Jason Kelce.
Oh.
Because we have not had a good president with a good beard in so long. That used to be a mainstay of presidents back in the day.
Right.
Huge beards, great beards. We haven't had one in a long time. I can't even think of the last president that had a beard.
The last president elected to office with a beard was Benjamin Harrison in 1893. 125 years. Yep.
Make America great again.
Make America bearded again, says the bearded man. Mark, okay. The last president to wear any kind of facial hair was William Howard Taft, who had a mustache during his term from March of 1909 to March of 1913. This was the end of the bearded era, or the facial hair era, started by none other than Abraham Lincoln. So, you know, you're right, Mark. It's been a while since we've had that facial hair in the Oval Office.
And he's a family man. You know?
Yeah, oh, very much so. You know, what do you think about Trump, by the way? You think he should grow out a beard? No shave November for Donnie?
I'd like to see it.
That wouldn't be the worst thing. And you're right, he's a very good family man. Let's not forget, Jason Kelce, when he retired last week, gave one of the great retirement speeches where he talked about one of the most important things in life. Not how good of a center he is, not how many Super Bowls he's won, not about how many podcast downloads he has, but about being a father.
Also given me 3 beautiful girls and a life that increasingly brings me more fulfillment off the field than it does on. We've had a great run, Kai. I am a product of my upbringing. I think one of the best things a person can be in this world is a father. A father who is present, loving, devoted, just may be the greatest gift a child could ask for in our society. And I have a damn good one. My father believed in me more than anyone.
Imagine having a platform that was simply about present fathers. Jason Kelce, father of 3 girls like Mark and myself. You could turn around this country in a heartbeat.
That's my president.
There you go. Have him run him against Fetterman, if nothing else. He just made 37 seconds of sense, which Fetterman hasn't done in 2 years.